another episode. I hope you're all doing well. I firstly need to apologize for last week for not posting a video. I got kidnapped by my friends. We went for holiday last week. It was a much needed break for all of us, so I didn't post last week, and that's the reason why. But I'll make up for it this week, and like we mentioned in the last video, I said we're starting assembling soon, and we have received the pistons, so it's a go. We've got everything that we need. We can start assembling the bottom end, and hopefully the mountings arrives tomorrow. I have sent it away. It should be here tomorrow, so once that's been received, we can put the motor in. So I'm not gonna still blab around here. Let's get straight into it. So as you can see, we've got piston number 1 and number 4 in. It's not torqued properly yet, so we need to still torque that before we put in number 2 and number 3, and then just give it a turn with a 19 over here to see if it operates smoothly inside the block. Once that's done, then we'll tackle number 2 and number 3. And also you can see that it was engineered. In the previous video I showed you it overlapped over here, and now you can see it's flush, so we're good to go with that. The torque settings for these big end bearing caps is 30 Newton meters and another 90 degrees. So like I said with the previous video, we're going to torque at 90 or 30 Newton meters, and then we'll mark it with Tipex to get exactly 90 degrees after that. So we got that all torqued up. All we're gonna do now is prep the other 2 pistons, get the rings in there, and then we can put those 2 in as well. Got all 4 pistons in, all the rings and bearings is in, everything's torqued down. Now I can start tackling the front of the bottom end, and the crank seal, the pulleys, the water pump, alternator, things like that. So we're gonna get into that, but before we do that, I just want to give a quick shout out to Exclusive to coming through again and supplying us with these parts. So big shout out to them. You now leave all the details down below if you are in need of any parts. So yesterday while I was assembling, I picked up something and it just annoyed me completely, and I'm sure you guys picked it up in a time lapse as well. So before we continue, I'm just gonna rectify that and then we can continue with assembly. So what I'm referring to is this over here, where the oil cooler fits onto. You can see how it looks compared to the others. I completely forgot to spray it, so I'm gonna remove that and just give it a clean up and spray so it looks much better when the thing is all together. You can see it just stand out like a sore thumb, and it's really ticking me off, so I'm gonna sort that out before we continue assembling. Got that off. I also missed this that holds the distributor on, so I'm gonna take this off, give it a clean, and then spray this black as well. And there we go, looking much nicer, all sprayed up, clean, ready to go. I can fit that and we can continue fitting the rest of the stuff to the motor. There we go, boys, much better. I'm happy with that. And I've got some good news. We managed to get back the mountings, so I went full poly for the two engine mountings on the side as well as the ones in front. So as you can see, it is full and solid. There's no gap in between. Like you can see, I'll leave a video over here of the standard one. There's no gaps in between, so that will alleviate the shift and tilt in the engine when you accelerate, but also it will cause much more vibrations, or you'll feel the vibrations. So there is other options. So there was another option for like semi, it would be in between this one and the original standard bushing, which would be basically in between, so you wouldn't feel as much vibrations, but it wouldn't completely alleviate the tilt in the engine. So I bought this from Andres Rubbers, I think that's what it's called. I'll leave all the details down below. You can hit him up, he will sort you out for all the mountings. He pressed this in for us as well, but there is an option where you can buy just the mountings and press it in yourself. And then I've also got the one for the front. You can see it's much more solid and bigger than this one. This one you can take off yourself and should just slide off and replace with a slide back on. So what I ended up doing was cutting a piece of plate. So this plate will fit in. This plate will fit in over here, just as a spacer, and then the mounting will fit in over there. So I just cut that piece as a spacer between this plate over here and the mounting. And then I also cut this over here to trim it. This one's from the 2E block, so it didn't fit, the mounting didn't fit. Obviously the mountings are different on the City Belts and the 2E, so I had to trim this in order for the new mounting, or the mounting from the Mk1, to fit in here. So this is where we're at currently. I've got the alternator on, I've got the water pump on, I've got the oil cooler on. I took this off because there's a, this is the breather that goes over here, plastic breather. I took that off because there is seal that I need to replace on there, and I don't have that at the moment, so I need to get those seals. On this side we've got the mounting on, we've got all this on here, the pulley. I still need to put the pulley on here. Unfortunately we can't find the pulley bolts, and I think I might have left it when we took the bottom in to have balanced. I think we might have left the bolts over there, so we need to get the bolts for that pulley. And then also we need to find out how we're gonna work this, because we still need to put the bolts on here. And obviously there's a obviously there's an aircon pump usually in here, and a power steering pump, which the bolts run off, and we don't have power steering or aircon, so we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna work that out. If any one of you have done this and know the way around that, please let me know down in the comments below, so we can sort that out. So it's a bit unfortunate that we ran into that issues. I need to get all of those stuff and sort that out. So I think I'm gonna call it here for this week's episode, and we will continue next week. I promise that we will have the motor in by next week. We just need to get those stuff, and then yeah, we can fit the motor. I apologize about that, but yeah, that's what happens with builds. It never goes according to plan, and that's why I'll put this in here, so you guys can see that everything doesn't always go according to plan. I think I've mentioned that before, but yeah, that's part of building a project car. So that's all for this week's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Just another sunny day in Southern California. It's where the people came to play.